Welcome to Hotline TV. I'm Amy Walter.
And I'm John Mercurio. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year to you,
Happy New
Amy
Year.
Walter. Healthcare. Whatever happened to healthcare?
Oh, what did? You're just sad that you don't have that story anymore, aren't you?
I am very sad about that.
Because instead, we have moved on. We've already passed healthcare right before Christmas. Then on Christmas Day, we know there was that failed attempt to blow up an airplane outside of Detroit. And Obama's agenda, remember, he was going to pivot to jobs in the economy right after healthcare?
Absolutely, I recall that.
Not so much. Now we're right back onto terrorism. All right.
All right.
So we are going to then
Let's
spend
talk about
this
that.
time talking about the political implications of this latest terrorist attempt.
Okay, let's talk about a couple different topics, a couple different political aspects to this whole story of the week, or is it the story of the year? We'll have to wait and see. First of all, Amy Walter, who is affected most by the fact that the national debate on politics has pivoted not to jobs but to terrorism?
Certainly, Obama/Democrats. Traditionally, this isn't something that they want to talk about, right?
Okay.
They want to talk about domestic issues. They want to talk about and have to start selling their health care plan as soon as it's passed. They want to talk about jobs in the economy. Instead, they're talking about terrorism, which Republicans have traditionally been stronger on. However, I do think that the president, or for the first time, Democrats have a bully pulpit. Remember, every time the Democrats had to talk about national security, they were always the ones attacking a president or trying to go up against somebody who has commander-in-chief in his title.
Right.
Now they have the commander-in-chief here. The president is going on TV this afternoon. Let's see how he does, but he's very good, I think, at
In moments like this.
in moments like this.
You know, I think you're exactly right, and I think the people who, until Obama goes on TV, we'll see how that goes, but I think that the people who realize that the Democrats have the bully pulpit for the first time are the Republicans, because they were the ones who came out of the box originally and aggressively were attacking the White House for not responding quickly enough, for not responding forcefully enough, for the mixed message coming out of Janet Napolitano. So I think you see the Republicans recognizing the political landscape better than the Democrats, who are the ones who have the tools to actually fight
Right, they
back.
could have, and which he started to do, which is every day then there was new information released about we're going to be doing this, we're closing the embassy, we're going to add more people into the terrorism rolls, etc.
That's true. It's not exactly fair to say that they don't recognize where they are.
No,
I think
but
they were just slower on the uptake.
I agree.
Obviously, Obama coming out and recognizing Yemen. I think, interestingly, there are some subplots. I think that you've got somebody like Peter Hoekstra, who's a top-ranking House Republican on the Intelligence Committee, trying to raise money off of terrorism in his Michigan gubernatorial race. That could be a problem for him.
Yeah, except if you're in Michigan right now, do you really want to talk about terrorism or you want to talk about jobs? Peter Hoekstra's got to learn how to talk about jobs, not about terrorism. But
Janet Napolitano, I think it blows over. She had some. It's the second or third time though we've seen sort of a bad rollout of Napolitano on the Sunday show. So I think people are watching her, but I think at this point she's safe. Moving right along.
All right, topic number 2. Fox News' Brit Hume touched on how terrorism plays into politics on the O'Reilly Factor. Here is a clip.
Fear of terrorism can be and has been an extremely powerful political force. President Bush, responding to 9/11 strongly and quickly and with some eloquence, proved what a force it can be on your behalf politically, and it carried him, I think, right through the 2004 election. It faded in the public's concerns because of the success, I think, of the efforts to prevent another terrorist attack.
All right, very interesting, though we know quite clearly this election is not going to be like 2004, and it is not going to be like 2002. This is an election that is going to be a referendum on the economy, period.
Well,
look, we don't know how bad this is going to get, and God forbid that something else happens, but I think for right now, this has been an important issue for the president to look like he can handle this, that the administration can handle this. But fundamentally, when it comes down to what voters are going to be making their decision upon in November, it is not going to be, boy, which party do we think handles terrorism better?
Sure. I think you have to sort of look at this whole Christmas incident over Detroit as sort of a dress rehearsal. I mean, not to use such tacky expressions, but nobody died. And I think at the end of the day, this is an episode that's relatively isolated. And you're right. If the economy continues on its current trends and terrorism remains at its current level, then I think it's not an issue. If that changes, as we all know, terrorism can sprout up and become the most important priority for the American people. As Brit Hume points out, and as George Bush remembers from 2004, that can change everything overnight.
Well, and that's where I think Republicans do underestimate sort of the role that they're in now. They're in the minority. the Democrats are the ones in the majority. The Democrats are the one, yes, they're going to be held accountable in many ways for what happens, but at the same time, the president will not only have that bully pulpit, but as we saw after September 11th, the country rallies around a president. They want a president to succeed in times of great stress and anxiety. And I think just simply going out and attacking the president on this is not a good political strategy.
I agree with you, except I know the Republican refrain will be George Bush kept us safe, as we saw Peggy Noonan wrote in the Wall Street Journal right after Bush left office, kept us safe for 7 years. 1 year into or 2 years into Obama's administration, look what happened. So that'll be the refrain.
It's clear that that will be. Although the pushback, of course, will be how many of these people that have been transferred to Yemen came under George Bush.
Right. We
true.
could have this whole debate right
We
here.
could. All right, I'm going to skip down to topic 4, which is the ultimate
Yes.
last word.
Bring it.
All right. So it seems as if, you mentioned this earlier, Congressman Hoekstra and Senator Jim DeMint, who were
Yes.
very, very critical right off the bat of the president's handling of this, seem to be backing off a little bit. Or are they just repackaging their rhetoric?
Well, I think to give them the benefit of the doubt, I do think that they are responding to the developments as they occur on
Correct.
a daily basis. And as we just discussed, this is an administration that was slow off the mark on this incident, but has sort of quickly, I think, gotten up to speed on where they should be on responding to the incident, responding to Yemen, responding to the intelligence that's coming out of the Middle East. And so I think that what you see somebody like DeMint doing, who never misses an opportunity to score political
Nope.
points against this White House, they are sort of, I think, maybe repackaging their rhetoric, but also responding to what they see coming out of a sort of increasingly engaged White House.
Well, and Republicans are in an interesting place because on the one hand, they want to be able to criticize the president for his policies on terrorism, and at the same time, the left is attacking Obama for being too much like Bush.
Right.
So the more that they push the president to be, taking the stands that are similar to Bush, then they cut off the opportunities to attack him. Although they probably will find a new way.
I'm sure
To do
they
that.
will. I'm sure they will. And we could talk about all those, but we are out of time.
I know. Until next time, we'll see you on Hotline TV.
Happy New Year.